There is a moment in every human life, a moment that does not announce itself with thunder, music, or applause. It arrives quietly, almost silently. It arrives in the pause between two breaths, in the mirror you avoid looking into, in the nights, when your mind refuses to sleep because your soul is tired of pretending. This is the moment when you finally realize that the life you are living is too small for the person you could become. And this moment, this awakening, is not dramatic. It's human, it's fragile, it's honest. Maybe you have been living for others for too long. Maybe you have been lowering your standards, shrinking yourself, accepting words, behaviors, and situations that scratch at your self-worth slowly, like erosion on a cliff. Maybe you have been waiting for someone to choose you, validate you, love you, respect you, while forgetting to do those things for yourself. Giacomo Papasidero once said something powerful. The way you treat yourself teaches others how to treat you. And yet, most people spend half their lives teaching others that they can be walked on. Self-respect isn't a fancy word. It's not ego. It's not arrogance. It's not pride. Self-respect is the foundation of your fate. It is the invisible backbone behind every decision you make. It is the silent force behind every boundary you set. It is the quiet energy that determines whether you stay stuck or break free. And here's the hard truth. Your life doesn't change when you get more money, more followers, more attention, or more love from others. Your life changes the moment you begin to honor yourself. Maybe you grew up in a family where your emotions were dismissed. Maybe you entered relationships where your worth was negotiable. Maybe you worked under people who made you feel replaceable. Or maybe you were the one abandoning yourself because it felt easier than fighting for who you could be. But at some point, something cracks, the mask slips, the truth steps forward, and you begin to ask a question you never had the courage to confront. Why don't I treat myself as someone valuable? This is where fate begins to shift, not dramatically, but profoundly. Because the fate of a human being does not change through luck, or accident, or destiny written in the stars. Fate changes when the person looks at their own life, their own heart, their own future, and whispers, "I deserve better than this." That whisper becomes a spark. That spark becomes a fire. And that fire becomes a new life. This is the beginning of your transformation. People often think the biggest pain in life is failure, but it's not. The real pain, the deepest, most exhausting pain, is self-betrayal. The pain of abandoning yourself to keep someone in your life. The pain of saying yes when your entire soul is screaming no. The pain of laughing along when something hurts you. The pain of forcing yourself to be small because you fear losing acceptance. Every time you tolerate disrespect, every time you allow someone to cross your boundaries, every time you hide your truth just to avoid conflict, you pay a price, and the price is you. Most people don't realize how much they lose until it's too late. They think they're keeping the peace, keeping relationships alive, keeping opportunities open. But in reality, they're slowly burying their self-esteem under layers of silence and compromise. You know what happens when you don't respect yourself? You attract people who confirm your lack of respect. People who take advantage because they know you won't walk away. People who know your silence is permission. People who know your forgiveness is guaranteed. People who know your limits are negotiable. Life becomes a cycle of disappointment that feels almost scripted. You wake up tired, not because you need sleep, but because your soul is exhausted from pretending you're okay. You start doubting your worth, not because you lack value, but because you keep surrounding yourself with people who don't see it. You feel lost. Not because life is complicated, but because you keep abandoning your own direction to follow someone else's map. And slowly, your fate becomes something you no longer recognize. Not because fate is cruel, not because destiny hates you, but because you handed the pen of your life to everyone except yourself. Let me tell you something brutally honest. If you don't respect yourself, the world will reflect that back to you in every relationship, every opportunity, every decision, every moment. You'll stay in toxic situations because you think you don't deserve better. You'll allow friendships that drain you because you fear being alone. You'll stay silent when you should speak. You'll shrink when you should rise. You'll accept crumbs when you deserve the feast. This is how fate is shaped. Not by the universe, not by destiny, but by your willingness or unwillingness to honor your own worth. But there's something beautiful hidden inside this painful truth. If your lack of self-respect can destroy your fate, then your self-respect can rebuild it. And that's where the story begins to change. Let's talk about courage, not the kind people admire in movies, not the loud courage that involves breaking doors or shouting speeches. I'm talking about the quiet courage, the invisible kind, the courage that often goes unnoticed but is the strongest form of bravery a human can possess. The courage to say, I won't tolerate this anymore. I won't shrink myself to fit your comfort. I won't betray myself just to keep you in my life. I won't apologize for having standards. This kind of courage is the beginning of self-respect. But here's the truth, most people will never admit. Setting boundaries is terrifying. Walking away is terrifying. Rebuilding yourself is terrifying. Saying no is terrifying. Choosing your own peace over someone else's approval is terrifying, and yet it's the only way to grow. Think about the people you admire, the ones who live with peace, confidence, purpose. They are not lucky. They are not blessed. They are not chosen. They're simply people who decided that their dignity was not something they were willing to negotiate. They chose themselves, even when it hurt. Because yes, choosing yourself hurts sometimes. It hurts to walk away from people you love, but who don't value you. It hurts to let go of habits that brought comfort, but also brought destruction. It hurts to outgrow your environment. It hurts to demand better. It hurts to rewrite your role in your own story. But the pain of growth is sacred. The pain of self-respect is transformational. The pain of choosing yourself is the kind of pain that leads to freedom. You must understand, boundaries are not walls. Boundaries are guideposts for how you allow life to treat you. Self-respect is not selfishness. Self-respect is self-protection. Walking away is not weakness. Walking away is wisdom. When you finally raise your standards, everything in your life begins to rearrange itself. People who once took advantage suddenly lose access. Situations that drained you no longer control you. Your environment shifts. Your decisions shift. Your mindset shifts. You stop being the victim of your story, you become the author again. This is when fate begins to bend, not by magic, but by choice. Because fate is not something that happens to you. Fate is something you shape with every boundary you set, every decision you make, and every moment you choose yourself. There is a version of you somewhere inside who has been waiting for years to live. A version who is confident, grounded, and unshakable. A version who honors their own emotions. A version who wakes up with purpose instead of fear. A version who no longer tolerates disrespect, chaos, or disrespect disguised as love. This version of you is not a fantasy. It's your potential. It's your truth. And self-respect is the key that unlocks it. When you begin respecting yourself, everything changes in ways that feel almost mystical. But there is no mystery, only transformation. You start speaking differently, not louder but clearer, not aggressively but firmly, not to hurt others, but to protect yourself. You start walking differently. Your steps carry purpose. Your presence carries weight. Your silence carries meaning. You start choosing differently. You prefer peace over drama, growth over comfort, quality over quantity, solitude over fake companionship. People begin to see the shift, even when you don't announce it. They feel it in your energy, they see it in your eyes, they hear it in your tone. You become someone who cannot be manipulated easily, someone who cannot be guilt-tripped, someone who cannot be controlled by fear, silence, or emotional pressure. You become someone who is not afraid of losing others because you finally stopped losing yourself. This transformation is not loud, it's not glamorous, it's not dramatic, it's subtle, slow, deep, but it is powerful enough to realign your entire life. Your fate begins to expand. Opportunities come that once seemed out of reach. People enter your life who see your worth without needing explanation. Peace becomes your default, not your dream. This is the rebirth that happens when you stop begging the world to value you and start valuing yourself. In the end, self-respect is not a destination, it's a daily practice. It's in the way you talk to yourself in the morning. It's in the decisions you make throughout the day. It's in the standards you uphold at night. It's in the people you choose. It's in the dreams you protect. It's in the boundaries you reinforce. It's in the promises you keep to yourself. Your fate changes the moment you decide that you are not here to live a small, apologetic life. You are not here to convince others to treat you well. You are here to treat yourself well. And by doing so, you set the tone for everything around you. You're not here to chase acceptance. You're here to build identity. You're not here to survive on crumbs. You're here to rise to your full height. You're not here to remain trapped in patterns. You're here to break generational cycles. Self-respect is the foundation of all transformation. It is the engine behind all success. It is the shield that guards your peace. It is the compass that guides your destiny. And here is the truth many people run from. Your fate is not written. Your fate is decided. And you decide it every time you choose yourself. So today, let this be your turning point. Let this be the moment you reclaim the pen of your own story. Let this be the moment you stop negotiating your worth. Let this be the moment you rise, quietly but powerfully. Because the world may try to shape you, but only you can define you. And the moment you begin respecting yourself, everything, your relationships, your peace, your opportunities, your future, begins to change. Self-respect will not just change your decisions. Self-respect will change your direction. Self-respect will change your fate. If you want a new life, start with a new standard. If you want a new destiny, start with new self-respect. Your future begins the moment you say, I am no longer abandoning myself. Because when you respect yourself, you rise, you transform, and your fate follows.